to call you. So I'm going to start with Innocent. So if you're Innocent, please turn on your microphone and tell me what did you learn last week in one sentence or two. Innocent, what did you learn last week in a sentence or two, followed by Ayobami Egita, what did you learn last week? If you are not there, Ayobami, please go ahead. If Innocent is not there, you got to tell me what you learned last week and how you're going to use the knowledge. Ayobami, I cannot hear you. Please speak up or try to increase your volume.
All right. Okay. Ayobami. I'm sorry I could not attend the last class, but I was able to go through the materials that was sent to me via my email. One of the things, after going through the materials, one of the things I learned about social enterprises that is not something you can do alone. It's something that needs collaborative efforts. So going forward, I'll be looking into collaborating with others to build on my own social enterprise and business and see how I go from there. I think that was one of the things that stood out for me. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. So followed by Kathy, please tell us what did you learn last week. After Kathy, Deborah Adenero should prepare, then Miriam Lawal, then NCDB Airport. So, Kathy, your turn. What did you learn last week? How do you intend to use the knowledge? This is key part of the program. You have to be able to articulate, accurately how you'll be able to leverage what you learn in the program. If you cannot apply the knowledge, then the knowledge is going to go to waste. So, Kathy, if Kathy is not there, let's move to Deborah Adediro. What did you learn, and how do you intend to apply the knowledge? Deborah?
All right. Good morning, doctor. Good morning, everyone. Last week it was two things. We had orientation about how the program would go, and afterwards we were taking on a session on social entrepreneurship, where we were clearly explaining what social entrepreneurship meant. So for me, what I learned was that social entrepreneurship is about solving problems, right? It's a thing of you're solving problems and you're still, as much as you're solving problem and creating impact, you're also making profit. And then she, just like Ayobami said, it was also highlighted to us that in order for us to be able to make great impact, we must be willing to collaborate in the ecosystem. So that was what stood out for me. Thank you so much, sir.
Watching Sarah, so I would like to know what did you, sorry, okay, I forgot that this is a female class, so pardon me for using the word guys. So. Okay, ladies, what did you ladies learn last week? About your, then Sarah, go ahead if you're ready to, talk.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Last week, although network was really at my end, but I was able to learn. What I learned was that how an social entrepreneur can leverage technology, how we can include technology, infuse technology into our social enterprises.
What did you learn? What did you learn last week?
Orientation, and the other one was understanding social entrepreneurship. So we're made to understand that social entrepreneurship is like the use of creative business models to tackle social problems and environmental problems. Like
is a means of finding innovative solutions to generate positive impact. Thank you.
Thank you, Precious. Well,
No, that's Boluwatife.
Okay, Boluwatife, thank you very much. Precious, please go ahead. Roosevelt Food, Ruth Amel, Zipporah's Damilola. So what did you ladies learn last week? It's very important for us to know where we are so that we know where we are going from here. Any other person?
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Innocent. How are you today?
Hi, good morning,
Good morning.
classmates. I learned last week, though I had network issues too for my own end, but I learned about social entrepreneurship. I I learned how to identify in my little way social problems and how to see how to make impact from my little end, issues that make concern, that gives concern, social issues that give concern to me, and then how to make impact through collaborative approaches, through technology to make impact and find solutions to such social problems. Thank you.
John? Anyone? Any other? Yes, Grace, go ahead.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. So last week, we had two sections, just like you said earlier, and then what actually resonated with me was the fact that she asked us to, she kept us into a group and asked us to go to say things that's social challenges that when we hear it, it resonates with us. And then I had my partner, which she talked about her own, and I also share my own, the part of where ladies are being, girls, child are being molested. And then I also share how I can leverage that while I'm doing that, while I'm trying to solve a problem. I'm also leveraging on technology through creating a legal ease app, through creating a legal app. That's it for me, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So, thank you very much for your contributions. For those who put in the chat, let me see if I can get to your chats to, I think I will just move up from here so that we don't spend a lot of time. Now, please turn off your microphone so that we can have a good audio for you. So, I'm going to go a little bit deeper into what you've already you've been taught. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper so that we can be fully grounded in the concept of social entrepreneurship. Because if we cannot accurately articulate what social entrepreneurship is, what are the basic things characteristics that form effective social entrepreneurship, it might be very challenging to be able to develop effective interventions that will actually make sense or that will actually be impactful. So because of this, I'm going to go a little bit deeper into what you already know. Now, I'm going to start again. I'm going to ask lots of questions. So what is your understanding? Now, relating what you learned last week now to your understanding, how can you define social entrepreneurship? That is where we're going to start from. How can you define social entrepreneurship? So if you would like to contribute, turn on your microphone and tell me how would you like to define social entrepreneurship beyond what you can read on Google, beyond what is being mentioned to you personally. How would you define social entrepreneurship? Who's going to help? Anyone? Feel free to turn on your microphone, then tell us how would you like to define social entrepreneurship.
Okay,
yes, Grace,
so I like to see define social entrepreneurship as just as we have entrepreneurship, other entrepreneurship. These are people with bigger hearts coming together to find solution to some social challenges.
Okay. Okay. Any other person just to find a solution to social challenges? Any other person?
Yes, I would like to add to what she said. finding solutions to social challenges. At the same time, you are making profits.
Okay, good. That's perfect. Any other contributions? Yes, Beatrice, go ahead. Beatrice, you want to say something? Sarah, I saw you turn on your microphone. Innocent, go ahead.
Adding to what they said, it's like a social a social entrepreneur must be passionate about what he or she wants to indulge in. So the passion is a part of the social entrepreneur.
Good.
The class is
I like the
starting.
word passion. Sarah, do you still
She
want
is
to
taking
add
the
more to
class
it?
today.
Oh, okay. I said being you are finding solution to social problem, and at the same time you are making profits. I don't know if you can hear me, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you very much, Sarah. Okay, I will say that you guys, you've already mastered everything. I think we should just close and go home today because you already know everything. So now I'm going to build on what you have said. Social entrepreneurship is actually a business model that prioritizes creating social impacts and addressing social issues. Now, rather than generating profit, social entrepreneurs focus on developing innovative solutions that benefit the society and the environment. Now, the word that is that rather than generating profit, we are not saying as a social entrepreneur, you cannot generate profit. What we are saying in essence is that impact first, then profit, right? The difference between social entrepreneurship and the, you know, profit-oriented entrepreneurship is that they put profit first, profit before everything. But in social entrepreneurial activities, you put impact first, then profit later. So that is the difference. This is very important. And for you to be able to actually focus on the social entrepreneurship, there is something you need to understand. That is your value system. In other entrepreneurial activities, there's what they call value proposition. Value proposition simply means that how you serve your customers, how you provide the best service, what's the best way to attend the customer. However, in social entrepreneurship, you are driven by values. This time around, what value simply means that what kind of a world do you intend to live in? What do you want to see in the world? What are you not pleased with? That is the first thing that is going to drive your social entrepreneurship, your value as a person. I am not going to go in depth into the value system, but I'll give you a lot of pointers that will give you ideas into various value systems that you can think of. Now, a lot of value systems that they are driven by the ethics, or in the aspect of psychology and sociology. You have utilitarianism. People believe that the good of the everybody is superior to the well-being of everybody is superior to my well-being, or everybody should be equal, or we should live in a society of equitable and justice. Those are social values that should drive you. And if you cannot articulate your value or your value system, what drives you, it's going to be very difficult to stay true in this journey of social entrepreneurship. Why is it important? You see a lot of people in the old world now, you can say that, okay, our system is broken, our political system is broken, our social welfare is broken, this is broken, that is broken. It's because a lot of people in the hands of our fear, they do not have any value system that is driving them. So when you do not have a specific value system that is driving you, it is very easy for you to compromise. Let's give you an example. If you decide that you are going to focus on impact first before the profit, now somebody comes to you with a lot of money to do something, to design solutions that will not align with your mission. But if you don't have a specific value system, it's very easy to abandon your social entrepreneurial endeavor and just go after the money. So this is very important for you to understand your value, to question your value. So I am going to put this to you now. Again, this is not going to be your typical lecture. This is more like an introspection where I'll ask a lot of questions. So I'd like everybody on the call, starting from Innocent, followed by Ayobami Evita, followed by Tati, followed by Deborah, followed by Godfriend Beatrice, and Obateru, and so on. You're going to tell me the value that is driving your social entrepreneurship. I heard somebody say that because I'm passionate. Passion is not enough. You need to have a specific value that is driving this. And it's like pledging. If you see the picture on the left, it's saying that you are pledging to yourself that this is what I want to do. This is the problem I want to solve, and it's driven by value. I'll give you some example of value. Some examples of value that can drive your social entrepreneurial journey is empathy. You empathize with the world of people begging on the street. That is one example. Or it could be social justice. You are just so concerned about the fact that people are not getting justice. Or it could be that you are so interested in the way some people were treated. Somebody was talking about their child, so you have to be able to articulate your value. First thing that should drive your social entrepreneurship endeavors. If you cannot articulate the value or your values or the values that drive you, you will not be able to. Please, somebody said, I don't know if anybody can see that I can be screen. I'm sharing my screen, please.
Yes, I can. I think it's from Afen.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for the information. Then, Ms. Foye, I don't know the way this can be recorded. I can't. I'm not sure if I have the So,
Yeah, it's
do you
already
want
been
to try?
recorded. Yeah, I found the way
Okay,
to
okay,
do it.
awesome. Okay, awesome. Thank you. So you have to be able to articulate your value. Like, okay, why am I doing this? Let me give you an example so that it can help you to be able to fine-tune your value system as you want to step into this journey. Let me give you an example. I'm working on a social entrepreneurial activity that we want to build a school, a higher institution that is scholarship based in Nigeria. And the goal is this: we want to make sure that if we have any bright students getting out of secondary school, and that child or the parent of that student or those students do not have the money, the resources to go to higher education, we want to provide scholarship for them, a school that is designed based on scholarship. That, okay, if you can score up to 250 jam score, if you can have up to 250 jam score, and your parents cannot afford to pay for your tuition in tertiary institution, you can come to our school for free. That is the solution we are providing, leveraging technology to do that. But what is the value or my value as the salesman, somebody behind the idea? What drives me? It's a very simple thing that drives me. On July 2nd, 2001, I dropped out of Federal Polytechnic Ede because my parents cannot afford. So I dropped out of the school. I went to the registrar office and I told the registrar, please, can you allow me to take the exam so that during the holiday I can go and work? By the time I work, I'll be able to make money to pay the school fees. And the registrar said that, no, if you cannot pay the school fees this semester, you go and work. What happened next semester? So I couldn't write the exam. Then I dropped out of school. That was 23 years ago. Now, during that time I was trekking back home is a long journey. Then I had this thing in my mind that if God should help me, if I'm able to make it in life, I am going to set up a higher institution where people like me who couldn't afford tuition that year will be able to go to school for free. And since that time, I've been very consistent in making sure that everything I do focuses on that thing to make sure that I'll be able to do that. So regardless of the idea, even by the time the school starts, if somebody brings a lot of money, I am not going to let the money overshadow the impact I want to make in the society, because the value that is driving me is empathy, remembering the situation I was, remembering my position, remembering how devastating it was for me to drop out of school when my friends, my colleagues were in school. So that became a huge part of me. and became the value that drives me and became the motivation to move forward. So, as a social entrepreneur, the first thing is to understand the value that drives you. So, why are you doing what you're doing? So, what kind of world do you want to live in? For me, the world I want to live in is a world where bright students fit to go to school, even if their parents are poor. It's a very simple value proposition. What do you want to see in want to see in the world? I want to see a world where bright students will not sit at home after their WAEC. It's a very simple value proposition. So you have to be able to create your own value that drives you. So now I'm going to throw it open to you guys, to you ladies. What is the value that is driving you? So what do you want to see? What kind of world do you want to live in? This is very important. If you are not able to articulate this very well, it's going to be very difficult for you to continue on the face of challenges because entrepreneurial endeavor is very could be very challenging. But having these concrete values or value propositions or motivations driving you will make a huge difference. So I want you now to tell me, based on your social entrepreneurial endeavors, based on what you want to achieve, what what values are what are the values driving you? What kind of world do you want to live in? What do you want to see in the whole world? So who's gonna start? Turn on your microphone, then tell us the value that drives you. Who's gonna start? If it,
All right. Good morning once again, everyone.
good morning, Daddy.
So I think the kind of value that I am currently driving with my social enterprise, I usually like to put it in words that I want to create products, or I'm creating products that will serve the people and save the planet, right? So the kind of world that I want is a world whereby we are meeting the needs of today without jeopardizing the next generation. So I play in the climate sector where I upcycle single-use plastics to make fashionable bags. So I strongly believe that, and I know that fashion is one, the fashion sector is one sector that creates a whole lot of pollution that is affecting our environment. And one thing I've come to realize is that there can't be a business on a dead planet. So everybody has to play their part towards securing the planet. So hence where I started my social enterprise, where I'm going to, mitigate against pollution. Because of course, you shared your story of how that you were at the point of dropping out of school, and I also had my home of also there was a time when I was very young and I almost lost my life to flood that was aggravated by plastic pollution, right? So it was when and I knew that how serious this issue was, that I said that okay, I have a skill in bag designing, so how can I mitigate this problem? Well, because there are so many people who have lost their life to floods that are due to aggravated by pollution and all of those things. So yes, that is basically what I'm doing, and that is what is driving the work that I'm doing with my social enterprise.
Sarah, please go ahead. If Sarah is not available, we can move to Ayabami. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. The value is empathy. Value is empathy, and the hello. I don't know if you're
Go ahead.
okay. And a word I would like to see is a world where clean energy is accessible to all. That is accessible to all. That's because when I don't know how to share my story. I actually live in an environment. I grew up where there's no clean energy. We cook with firewood, and most times I live with my grandmother. So she uses firewood to cook. And most times we have to, before we go to school, we need to fetch firewood for her enough before we leave for school. So I'm always running late to school. So as so I said, when I'm if I'm able to, like, the problem I would like to solve is getting a good energy, clean cooking energy, so that our young girls will not, they will not be wasted while looking for firewood and all the rest. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Go ahead. Yeah, I Rami, yeah, let's
Oh, I'm here.
go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Um, I'll start by saying that I'm concerned about women and gender issues. By virtue of the work I do, I come in contact with a lot of women, and the way our society is placed, a lot of women are disadvantaged. Not only are they disadvantaged, sometimes they don't even know how to pursue some of their rights. So we've seen we've seen domestic violence against women, we've seen molestation of the girl child, and even women. Sometimes these women don't even know the right channel to go to report some of these things. And again, in the workplace too, you find a lot of discrimination against women. Sometimes a woman gives birth, especially when you work for a one-man business. This usually is a problem that lies in that sector. Usually, they find it difficult to give them maternity leave. Sometimes, when they do give, it's short. And even after the woman resumes work, sometimes they don't even give they don't even consider, they don't try to balance a family life and a work life. They want you to work from morning even till as late as 9 at night. Women are going through a lot. I'm also trying to see a place where we can look at we can work with mental health experts and see how we can help with the mental health of women passing through various degrees of abuse, discrimination, um, molestation, or any degree of challenge that they may be passing through. So that's one of the things that drives me. I think that's one of the values that pushes me and drives me to do something. I just want to do something for the women and the girl child, basically.
Thank you. Daniel, your turn.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, so I want to live in a world where young people are able to identify their paths, their career, mostly career paths, early on time, as early as when they are in secondary school. They are able to identify their strengths and are able to identify their strengths and have the right counsel or mentorship on what to do and how to go about building a thriving career path. This is because I struggle a lot trying to come into what I'm currently doing, and I see that this thing is still happening even in this day and in this time, that people go to school and after school they're not able to say, okay, this is what I want to do. As a graduate, you cannot say, okay, you study mass communication, and then after school you are not able to identify what you should do with what you study in school. And I believe this is because a lot of young people in schools starting from secondary school, don't have the right guidance and mentorship regarding their career path. So this is the gap that I have identified, and I'm working towards bridging that gap among young people.
Thank you. Askeriju Innocent, your turn.
Thank you very much. My own passion goes to working with teen girls. The previous speaker, one of the previous speakers spoke about making women aware of who they are, trying to avert abuses and such. I think there's a place to start with before women become women, they're actually girls. So I think working with girls in trying to make them aware of who they are, their uniqueness, the values they carry, to actually make them better women and they avert such kind of things. And then secondly, I'm a mother. I have three girls, and I live with people who have daughters, and in society where people feel as if daughters are not sons are better than daughters, or a son is better than two or three daughters. So it's a very crucial time for girls to know who they are and then the uniqueness that they have. And then providing hygiene for girls, especially for sanitary pads, something like just to keep them clean, prevent infection, and then make them make them better in terms of hygiene and then keeping themselves. I believe I've seen so many girls still using at this age, using rags and tissues and other things for their normal sexual phenomena in their life to groom themselves hygienically and then make them better girls and better women in the future. Thank you.
Okay, so I dream of a world where girls, while I started doing a lot of selling things to be able to send myself to school. Up to this moment, I was the one that practically said, just imagine that we have things for myself. I know what I went through. Because of same race. So I just bring up that word where education.
Very much. I share feelings like as somebody would be very support your anything education, you can count me in. So address poverty? Do you want to tackle unemployment? Do you want to promote sustainable practices like everybody has mentioned? Case-based, what you're going to do. So if your value drives you, it makes the journey easier. When it's tough, when things are not working very well, you understand. After the story of somebody or the child you saw, after the story in your head,
Hello, is it okay?
because of the brokenness or because of crack,
Èmi ni o mo máa gbàgbé àti sẹ́ǹdì líǹkì sí ẹni jẹ́
or
sẹ́ǹdì.
because of
Wọ́n ti bẹ̀rẹ̀. Wọ́n lò kí ló ń pè?
there is a lot of money donated to Red Cross so that the Red Cross can help,
I'm lost.
reconstruction in Haiti. However, a larger percentage is some governments so person. So you have to identify the problem, then understand what has broken or what has cracked that has caused the problem to happen. So this is very important. Let's just jump to now. Let's do a quick reflection activity. I told you today we're going to do a lot of activities. So I want you to raise up your hand now if you like to reflect. So the problem you're trying to solve, do you think it's because of the government failure or because of the social society? Social society are organizations that's not big non-profit organizations or religious organizations, religion some problems as a result of the failure of religious organization. It could be combination of so many things. So you need to be able to articulate the problem you've identified you want to solve. Is it cracked or broken, or the problem is it as a result of government failures or market failure or civil society failure? So let's start. Who's going to start? your problem. So why is the problem in existence? Who failed to make the problem to be that obvious? Who's gonna start? Please turn on your microphone.
Hello, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So basically, I'm solving the problem of waste and environmental pollution because if you live in Lagos, you will know how this waste has caused a lot of problems. Just last week, everywhere was flooded. Like people could not go to work, cars could not move. And I think one of the problem is the background problem is the government, is government failure. Because there are sometimes that maybe they will pay the workers to make roads and drainage. Or probably they don't pay them in full, or probably they are not paying them enough to make those stuffs. That's why those people will abandon the project. There are a lot of abandoned projects here. You can see some roads, okay, they start making it, then they'll just decide to stop. Then some gutters, I don't even know. They will just start doing, okay, today you might see them working, then they might just stop the project for months. I mean, while rain will keep falling, and these gutters will be blocked and flooded with waste product. Plus, we individuals also, I think we are also some of the problems because one small rain, everybody's bringing out their debts to pour into the rain, into the water. Where is it supposed to go? It's going to literally go to another place to go and block their gutters. So I think this particular problem is actually based on government failure and probably some of us.
Okay, thank you. Miss Ayabami, please go ahead.
All right, thank you for this opportunity. For my own, in my own case, I see that the failure is from the society, first of all, because the way the society view women is as compared to the male counterpart is that a woman is lesser than the man. So usually you see men trying to lord themselves over the women folk. Sometimes, like in the case of a domestic dispute where domestic violence arises, some men up to now do not even see the wrong in what they are doing because they see their women as a property that they've acquired and they all don't want any explanation on how they treat that property. So up to now, some men do not know that women should not be beaten. Women should not be abused, either physically, emotionally. Some even go to the extent of withholding financial abuse from their wives just because they want them to act in a particular way. If we look at Africa as a whole, we see that Africa is not a place where women that's why I guess someone said the other time that people prefer to have male children than the female. You see people who have had maybe 4 female children still going ahead to have more children, not because they've not had enough, but because they want a male child. A woman is seen as being lesser, but again, the government needs to stand up to begin to put policies in place to help the women in thriving in their businesses, in being wives too, and in being mothers. So the government, not until recently, I think Lagos State was the first to do that passed a law against violence against women. So other states too are coming up to sign up that law. So there's a failure of the government, then there's the failure of the society too. The society has not developed to the stage where women are treated as equal as men. And I think more needs to be done in that respect so that moving forward, women are seen as human beings first and treated as such. Thank you.
Please comment in the chat. The problem I have identified is cracked, and it is the result of government failure, and it's a result of poor educational policy and mismatch in the educational system. Okay, any other contribution? The problem you're trying to solve, where does the failure come from? Who's going to go next? Please turn on your microphone and contribute. Is it government failure, market failure, or civil society failure?
Okay, so I'll say the problem I'm trying to solve, I'll say it's from the government failure. And the reason is, just imagine I have, at that particular point, I can access free education. Although from my primary school, I did had access to free education. But when I got to secondary school, I had to pay, and that was even government school. And I was science student, and there is no equipment. I mean, if you need to see our chemistry lab, it was looking like, I don't even know what to describe it, how to describe it actually. It was nothing like what other schools, like private school has. So if government has like did their duty, and I feel like in Nigeria, the percentage budget that go to education is like maybe 10%. In fact, I don't even think 10% is it. Maybe 9% or thereabout. So I feel this problem is from government.
Okay, thank you. Any other contribution? Okay, now that to some extent you've been able to articulate where the problem started from, we know that it is cracked or broken, then we can attribute the source to either the government failures, the market failure, the society failure, individual family failures. The next thing is, where do we go from here? Because sometimes we all know all these things, we don't know the best way to tackle. So I'm going to introduce you to the concept of a strategic triangle. Let me read what's available in the chat, then I'll be able to. Zipura's Damilala Awutumoye. The problem I have identified is cracked, just need to be repaired, and it is family failure. Okay, thanks for your contribution. Roosevelt Food, the problem I'm trying to solve could be said to be both cracked and broken. I say that because pharmaceutical care is not taken seriously in our country and in fact Africa. There is less supply and distribution, affordability of medication, and consultancy on how to use medication. All right, thank you very much. So for you to be able to make a change or to have an impact in whatever you have identified, you need to understand how to develop effective intervention. So regardless of who failed, regardless of the problem, regardless of the situation, regardless of the value that drives you, you should be able to understand how to develop effective intervention to address the problem. So there's this concept by the Harvard School of Government. This is a concept from Harvard School of Government that guides people on how to develop solutions, innovations that can scale. When you identify a problem, you need to be able to concretely design your solution in such a way that it can identify the solution. Now, the first thing you need to understand is how to make sure that the solution you are building or the intervention you are developing is technically correct. So you need to understand it's technically correct. What that means is that if you've been able to identify the problem, you should be able to identify the problem in such a way that the solution will actually address the problem. In most cases, people will talk about a problem, and at the end, by the time the solution or the intervention is developed, is created, it does not impact this problem. And I can give you a series of examples in the country where we live in.